even in the last 6-7 years, there's been an absolute proliferation of biotech companies working predominantly on NK cells. And it shows that there's a lot of capital chasing these ideas that are very promising. So you're quite right. I mean, an NK cell, part of the job of an NK cell is to recognize transformed cells, usually at an early stage, and shut them down. So primary NK deficiency is actually incredibly rare. So we only have medical histories of fewer than 20 patients who have no NK cells, but the rest of their immune system works. And those people, it's not a bubble boy disease. These people do generally survive childhood, but they often die in early adulthood. And they die really for a couple of reasons. One of them is the uncontrolled viral infections, typically with the herpes virus family, that have become very good at avoiding T cells by downregulating MHC. So if the cell doesn't express MHC, the T cell can never see it. So NK cells, they've evolved to recognize cells on which MHC has been tampered with and lowered. So they're very good at combating these cells. The other cause of death in these patients is cancer. So by the time cancer has developed, it's already escaped the NK of the individual patient. But our NKs play a really important role in stopping cancer emerging in the first place. So NKs are a cell type where it's actually probably much better, definitely much better, to use them from an allogeneic source, because NK cells, one of the ways they decide whether to kill or not is if they recognize their own MHC, they will tend not to kill. And if you take them from an allogeneic donor, we call this KIR mismatching, the killer inhibitory receptor. If it's killer inhibitory receptor mismatched, it doesn't have that negative signal, so it's more likely to kill a tumor cell. The other really cool thing about them is that unlike T cells, they don't mediate GVHD. So if you're using them in the allogeneic setting, you don't need to match them to the donor, or you don't need to delete the TCR. There isn't one. They don't do GVHD. They don't seem to cause neurotoxicity or cytokine release syndrome. So they seem to be very safe. And that will be important because one of the main cost drivers of, say, CAR-19 therapy as it exists today is the chance of severe side effects that could cause hospitalization, the need to receive the therapy in a hospital setting and be checked for immediate reactions before you're discharged. With the NKs, they seem to be so safe that if this bears up in late phase trials, they could just be simply given in an infusion center, just like a monoclonal antibody, for example. So that's very promising. Because they recognize tumors directly, you don't have to put a CAR in them, but they do work even better if you do. But that means that they may be able to prevent antigen escape better than T cells, because once a tumor cell has lost the antigen, the T cell can't see it anymore. NK cells may well still be able to see it through their other mechanisms. So that's all really exciting, and we definitely should be using them in the allo source.